Hi, my name is William Cox. It is week 4, and I have the topic of UI versus UX, the showdown. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Take a peek. What is UX? UX actually stands for user experience. The user experience developer or the user experience team is responsible to ensure that the purpose of the site and its product coincide with what the business is actually after. So obviously every business is putting out a website to attract customers, to attract attention, and otherwise. And the user experience team is to ensure that everything goes smooth to promote that end. How the site interacts between the human element, which are the users, the visitors that are coming to the site, and the machine element is completely their focus. Before the site's even designed or otherwise, there's going to be a lot of deep analysis that the UX team does to ensure that they understand completely how the business and how the product coming to market, their strategy and what the intentions are to ensure that the site is congruent with that. UX team and developers, they will know the competitor's website incredibly well. They'll know the competitor's products, and that's actually going to drive a lot of their decisions as far as the content and the end goals for the site. The UX team is going to be responsible first and foremost for creating the framework and to develop and create all the content of the main site design and the navigation. Once they have that done, they're actually going to pass it off to the UI team. Granted, there's a lot of crossover between the UX team and developers and the UI team and developers. Each of them will sit in their respective areas. The UX team is also going to ensure that the visitor to the site, that their experience is very pleasurable end to end. They don't want anything jarring. They want things to flow. They want to draw their eyes to where they need to be to ensure that that user doesn't not complete the shopping cart experience, that they don't learn more about the product, or worst case scenario, they actually go to a competitor, end up giving them their business. Unlike UI, where most of the design and work is done and then declared completed once the site is launched, UX will continue to be involved with the site after the launch, and they will continue to evolve it. The site is a web living and breathing entity, and they are go ahead and continue strategizing and analyzing to ensure that it's still relevant for the intention. I did some research on the difference between UI and UX, and author out there put it really well. He said that the UX team creates a skeleton and its intended muscle movement, and then they hand it off to the UI team to actually dress that skeleton of muscle. So let's go to the UI team now and take a peek at that. So UI stands for user interface. User interface team and developers, their job and their focus is most closely associated with the visual factors of the site. Those are going to be colors, topography, alignment, palette, warmth, and otherwise. So really the look and feel of the site. They're going to take that framework and the content that was developed by the UX team, and they're going to make it cosmetically appealing. They're going to make it easy on the eye. They're going to make it a site that a visitor is drawn to and wants to dive deeper into, increasing not only the traffic to the site, but the amount of time on the site that the users are experiencing. They're going to be responsible to ensure that that look and feel, that cosmetic approach, is consistent with the company and the product branding. So they're not actually going to come up with the branding themselves, but they're going to make sure that the site and the product follows the branding protocol that's already in place. Also, in modern UI, animations and integrations are expected to be within their scope across site-wide. Also, if you think about all of the different ways that websites are visited nowadays, you have 24, 27-inch monitor, you've got a 15-inch laptop, you've got a 7-inch iPhone or Android large screen, and then you've got even a 1.5-inch by 1.5-inch Google Wear. So the UI's team is responsible to make sure that the site renders across all of those sizes appropriately. So again, going back to the example where the UX team was designing the skeleton and the muscle movement, the UI's team job is to put clothes on it and to make it appropriate to go outside. So if you look at some examples of some good UI design, we have pluswithplum.com here. This is a financial site. Very clean, very minimalist. You can see they very quickly call to action to sign up and to download, which is the whole intention of this site. They want your business and otherwise. Also, if we look over here at Frank and Oak, The only things that are in color are the site itself and then adding to the cart. Everything else is black and white. So as you're perusing this particular website, not only is it very fashion forward, but they're drawing your eyes to exactly where they want you to be and to potentially engage that process. If we look at good user experience, we're going to go to duolingo.com. This particular site here, within 3 clicks, you're actually into a sample lesson. All you had to do was give them a name, a first name, a last name, not even an email address, and then they instantly are showing you the product and they're drawing you in. I thought that was really great. Also, PayPal. For those of us who've been using PayPal a while, this site used to be incredibly convoluted, incredibly complex. Over the past couple of years, they've really thinned it out and minimalized it. It looks very much like it does on the mobile site. All the tools are very easy to click, to send money, receive money, and otherwise. So great examples of UX, very clean, clear design. So if you look at the prototype process for what happens, so as we mentioned, UX is going to drive the initial site design and storyboard. I've got an illustration here on the right of what that may look like for a UX team. The UX team is going to do the business analysis and the strategy. They're going to work with the stakeholder, with the business. They're going to work with the product R&D and really make sure that they understand that end to end. On the UI side, they're going to concern themselves with the company branding, the market strategy, the SEO requirements, and they're going to focus on working within those boundaries for that framework that the UX team gives. Again, a lot of crossover, a lot of collaboration between the UI and the UX, but each of them do have their core focuses. So the UI chicken or the UX egg? So again, because there is some overlap here, wanted to call out some things here so people knew what particular duties are associated with what. So we have conduct user research and testing pre and post launch. That's going to be the UX developers. Ensure that the site confirms to multiple screen sizes and devices. That's going to be the UI developer. Keeping pace with competitors' products and industries trends. That's going to be the UX developer pre, during, and post site launch. Design site and interface to be SEO friendly. Again, UI developer. The knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Both UI and UX are going to have to be intimately involved at that level. Conclusion. Every good website needs good UX and good UI for a successful business interaction with a site visitor. Example, it doesn't matter how pretty or appealing the site is if the ordering process is clunky and lengthy and the user doesn't complete the checkout. Another example, if it doesn't matter how efficient and fast a site is, if the design isn't inviting or the chosen color palette isn't cosmetically correct, the user will go somewhere that is. Got an example here. This is the NPR's text-only site. So really this is great UX. It has everything that you need. All the links are good. It loads extremely well. However, this is not appealing. This is not going to encourage people to come. Definitely not going to encourage people to spend any more time here than they need. They're going to get in, get their news, and get out, which is not what modern websites are looking for. If we look from a user interface standpoint, this is Taobao.com. It is a very confusing and overcrowded version of Amazon and eBay over in Asia. And all of this here, not much of this is translation issues. This is really just that full. So from a UI perspective, you could tell there's not a lot of branding. They're utilizing alignment, but there's not a lot of branding. It's very confusing. So this would be an example of where UI and UX could have done a lot better job, maybe collaborating and otherwise. Good design catches the eye and naturally draws a site visitor to exactly where they want them to go. That's UI. Clean design, organic interaction, and a user perceives smooth process will bolster their confidence and overall spending site time. Taobao is a great example of that. There's a lot of factors that are impacted by UI, UX, and it's important for the business to get right. That's usability, interaction, and navigation. I hope this illuminates both UI and UX a little bit more, and you guys can speak to it on a greater level. I definitely appreciate you stopping by. You guys have a great day.